The rain began just as I locked the front door, but somehow the storm outside felt quieter than the one that had been living inside me for the past 2 years. I had spent hundreds of lonely nights convincing myself that some wounds never truly healed. Then, on one ordinary evening, a single unexpected moment changed everything. I looked at the woman standing on my porch, soaked from the rain, carrying a tired smile that somehow hid years of silent pain. I never imagined that the sister of the woman who once shattered my heart would become the person who slowly put it back together. And when I finally whispered, "It's late, so stay with me tonight," her gentle smile carried a question that changed my life forever: only tonight. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes love can heal, and subscribe to our channel, Dad's Second Chance. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories that remind us hope is never truly lost. ***. 2 years earlier, I had stood in a wedding suit, waiting in front of family and friends for a bride who never came. She left behind a handwritten letter explaining that she had realized she was in love with someone else. There were no dramatic arguments, no opportunity to fight for us, only silence and humiliation that echoed through every part of my life. Losing the woman I loved was painful enough, but losing the future I had spent years building around her almost destroyed me. Friends slowly disappeared because they never knew what to say. Family encouraged me to move on, but healing is never as simple as changing the calendar. Every morning I forced myself to smile at work while every evening I returned to an empty apartment that reminded me of everything I had lost. Her younger sister, Emma, disappeared from my life that same day. She was always kind during our relationship, but after the wedding disaster, everyone naturally drifted apart. I assumed she wanted nothing to do with someone connected to such painful memories, and honestly, I couldn't blame her. Life became predictable. Work. Home. Dinner alone. Sleep. Repeat. Then one rainy Tuesday evening, my phone rang with an unfamiliar number. It was Emma. Her voice sounded calm, but beneath it I heard exhaustion. Their father had recently passed away after a long illness, and she had spent months caring for him while trying to hold the family together. She wasn't calling to reopen old wounds. She simply needed someone she trusted to help move a few heavy boxes from her father's old house before it was sold. Part of me wanted to refuse. The past still hurt. But another part remembered that kindness should never depend on yesterday's pain. The next morning, I drove there. The house looked smaller than I remembered, but the memories inside were enormous. Every room held photographs, old furniture, faded birthday cards, and countless reminders that time never stops moving, no matter how much we wish it would. Emma greeted me with a grateful smile. She looked different. Not because she had changed physically, but because life had quietly transformed her. The cheerful college student I once knew had become a strong, compassionate woman carrying responsibilities far heavier than someone her age deserved. We spent hours sorting through memories. Sometimes we laughed at old family photos. Sometimes neither of us spoke. Silence wasn't uncomfortable anymore. It was peaceful. Over the following weeks, she occasionally asked for help with paperwork, moving furniture, or fixing things around the old house. I never expected anything in return. Helping her somehow reminded me that I was still capable of caring about someone without expecting my heart to be broken. As summer slowly faded into autumn, our conversations became longer. We talked about dreams that never happened. About grief. About loneliness. About the strange way life sometimes removes everything familiar before giving us something better. One evening she admitted something that surprised me. She confessed that after her sister left me at the altar, she wanted to apologize countless times, even though none of it had been her fault. Every family gathering reminded her how unfairly I had been treated, yet she never found the courage to reach out because she believed seeing her would only reopen my wounds. Hearing those words released a weight I didn't know I was still carrying. For the first time in years, someone had acknowledged my pain without trying to minimize it. Weeks became months. Neither of us noticed exactly when friendship quietly transformed into something deeper. She remembered how I liked my coffee. I noticed when she was pretending to be stronger than she felt. She celebrated my small successes at work. I encouraged her to apply for the teaching position she believed she wasn't qualified for. Little by little, we became part of each other's ordinary days. One Friday evening, after helping her prepare lesson plans for her new classroom, a thunderstorm rolled across the city. Roads flooded quickly, and emergency alerts warned people to avoid driving until morning. She looked outside uncertainly. Without thinking, I quietly said that it was late, so she should stay with me tonight. She smiled in a way I'd never seen before. There was warmth, hope, maybe even relief. Then she softly asked, "Only tonight?" Those two words carried years of unspoken emotions. I finally realized that neither of us had been waiting for permission from the world. We had only been waiting for each other. Instead of answering immediately, I walked to the window. The rain poured endlessly outside. I thought about the men I used to be. The men abandoned at an altar. The men convinced love only existed to disappear. Then I turned back toward her. For the first time in years, my heart felt lighter than my fears. I told her that I didn't want this to be only one night. I wanted mornings together, ordinary weekends, grocery shopping, arguments over movies, decorating a home, growing old beside someone who chose to stay instead of someone who chose to leave. Tears quietly filled her eyes. Not because she was sad. Because someone had finally chosen her too. Months later, we faced another challenge. When our relationship became public, many people judged us before hearing our story. Some believed loving my former fiancé's sister was wrong. Others assumed we had fallen in love long before the wedding, which couldn't have been further from the truth. Rumors spread quickly. Friends questioned us. Some relatives refused to understand. But real love isn't measured by public approval. It's measured by honesty, patience, and the courage to stand beside someone even when others step away. Emma never asked me to fight the rumors. She simply held my hand. Together, we built a life based on truth rather than other people's assumptions. 2 years later, we stood together in another wedding venue. This time there were no grand decorations meant to impress strangers. Only close family. Close friends. And hearts that finally understood what commitment truly meant. As I watched Emma walk toward me, I realized something beautiful. Life hadn't replaced my past. It had redeemed it. Every painful chapter had quietly prepared both of us for a love built on friendship, respect, forgiveness, and unwavering loyalty. Today, our home is filled with laughter, bedtime stories, family dinners, and the joyful chaos of raising our little son together. Every evening when I tuck him into bed beside his smiling mother, I'm reminded that the greatest blessings often arrive wearing the disguise of heartbreak. If someone had told the younger version of me that losing everything would eventually lead me here, I never would have believed them. Sometimes life closes one door so completely that we spend years staring at it. Meanwhile, another door has been quietly waiting for us to gather enough courage to open it. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that second chances are real, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to Dad's Second Chance. Your support allows these stories of healing and love to reach more hearts around the world, ***. Speech balloon special request ***. Tell us in the comments, do you believe true love can arrive after your biggest heartbreak? We'd love to read your story, ***. Love does not always arrive when everything is perfect. Sometimes it waits patiently beyond disappointment, beyond grief, and beyond the moments that convince us happiness is over. The people meant for us often enter our lives quietly, asking us not to forget the past, but to believe that even broken hearts can become whole again when kindness, courage, and faith guide the way. And perhaps the greatest second chance isn't finding another person, it is finding yourself again in the eyes of someone who never stops choosing you.